Hi, I'm Sean Hollern.
And I'm Shelley Tillery.
And I'm Tim Lakin with sports.
Hey, are you guys ready for Easter?
What do you mean by ready, Shelley?
Oh, you know, coloring eggs, buying a new outfit, Sunday afternoon walks on Easter.
Well, since the youngest in our house is a junior in high school, we really haven't colored eggs for a long time. And as far as an outfit goes, well, I bought a pair of jeans a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, I forgot. You guys do not get into buying outfits like girls do.
As far as getting ready for Easter, that started on February 17th, Ash Wednesday.
Yeah.
That's right. Easter is an important holiday, and Easter signifies the end of the Lent season.
And usually the beginning of spring.
Well, I like beginnings.
Not all beginnings. You don't like the beginning of winter, do you? And as for me, I like endings myself.
Right. But now we need to talk about beginning our show. Let's begin with Todd doing the previews.
First, I'll tell you about Right to Read Week. Then, Sean has stories on both VCR clips and on the orchestra. Neil has a story on basketball player Matt Kramer, and on that note, Mark introduces us to the girls' basketball coach, Mr. Beverly. Tricia tells us how TV auditions went. Then, Kristen has a story on Easter season. Gwen has a story on the Gahanna Lincoln High School library. And finally, Valita has the scoop on spring break. Now back to the anchors.
We have some great clips today. Let's begin with Right to Read Week with Todd.
Project Literacy US, Reading is Fundamental, Right to Read. You've heard of them all. The week of March 7th through March 11th was Right to Read Week here in the Gahanna Jefferson School District, and to help the elementary students in Right to Read Week, world-renowned author of children's books, Gail Haley, winner of the Caldecott Award and Parents' Choice Award, to name a few, visited Gahanna's elementary schools. Let's hear what she had to say to the kindergartners at Goshen Lane.
Old Graybeard and Jack were pretty nice. They went all quietly into their sack because I told them I would take them out when we got to the other end, and I hung them up with their hang coats in front of the airplane. And the problem was that Milky White wouldn't fit in anything, and she wasn't willing to go in a bag. She said, "No, I'm not going in a bag. I'm going to stop."
Not only did Ms. Haley tell the children stories, but she also told them, more importantly, that reading is good and reading can be fun. I hope these children always remember this day, for it will be the most important lesson they will ever learn. Literacy means power, and Right to Read Week helps bring literacy to the children in the elementary schools, and America will be better for it. This has been Todd Spencer for WGLH TV saying, read a book. Now back to the anchors.
Who can I turn to when nobody needs me?
The Urban League gives pregnant teens and their babies hope for a better future. Please support us. We can make a world of difference.
But who can I turn to if you turn away?
A perplexing problem has puzzled young people since the beginning of time. How to get a job without experience, and how to get experience without a job.
The answer is cooperative education, a nationwide program that lets college students work at real jobs for real pay while they're getting an education.
I knew that.
Children believe what their parents tell them.
You're pathetic. You can't do anything right.
You disgust me. Just shut up.
You can't be my kid.
You're worthless.
Hey, stupid, don't you know how to listen?
You're never going to amount to anything.
Why don't you go find some other place to live?
Words hit as hard as a fist. Stop and listen to what you're saying. You might not believe your ears.
I wish you were never born.
Take time out. Don't take it out on your kid.
Those were good movies to watch on a boring Sunday afternoon.
You don't have to be bored on a Sunday afternoon, Shelley. You could always find a good concert somewhere. I did. Now this. On Sunday, February 28th, our own Lincoln Lion Band, along with directors Diane Ballard, Jeff Shellhammer, and Steve Schiniger, performed their pre-contest concert for districts in front of an audience of about 150. In the band's new uniforms, I feel they played great. Let's listen. Good luck to the band and the directors in district competition. This has been Sean Holleran. Now back to the station.
I love to hear our orchestra play.
They were good. I said earlier that I like endings, but I have to qualify that. I hate to see the ending of our basketball season. They always do so well. We had 3 girls make all OCC and 1 guy. Now this.
If you are a student here at Gahanna and a friend of Matt Kramer's, you might see him doing the things that most teenagers do. How about getting into his locker? Or taking a stroll down the hall? Maybe you see him talking to a friend. Or leaving school after a hard day's work. But the work's not done yet. Here's Matt studying to keep up his 3.8 average. Finally, maybe you see him just lounging as he talks on the phone to a friend. But if you aren't a student, when you think of Matt Kramer, you think of basketball. Matt is an excellent player at that. As a sophomore last year, he led the Lions in scoring, and repeating that same feat this year, he also led in rebounds. But Matt's biggest honor was being named to the first team OCC as a junior. Hi, I'm Neil Smith for WGLH TV, and today we're here with Matt Kramer, who was unanimously voted OCC first team. Matt, when did you first start playing basketball?
I first started playing basketball when I moved here in 5th grade. I lived in Iowa before I moved here, so it was basically concentrated on wrestling there. They didn't play much basketball, so I continued playing through middle school, and now I play in high school.
How do you think your season went, Matt?
I think we had a very average season. We need to improve on a few areas. We lost quite a few close games, and we could have had a better record, but overall I think it was a pretty good season.
Matt, what do you look forward to next season?
I think if we work hard in the off season, we'll have a great chance of having a really good team. I think it depends on a few people becoming really good players and a few people becoming great players. It controls how we do next year.
How do you feel being picked OCC first team as a junior?
I think it's a really great achievement, but I think now that earning that award, you have to prove to everybody out there that you really deserve the honor and work hard to get that honor.
Who do you admire the most out of the basketball profession?
As professional, I like Michael Jordan. I think he really puts excitement into the game, and you're watching it for entertainment, I think he's a really good person to watch.
What do you plan to do after high school? Do you plan to continue with basketball?
Yes, I'd like to play at a 4-year college. I'm looking at earning a Division I scholarship, but that's kind of skeptical right now.
What pointers do you have out there for little kids wanting to play basketball in middle school or in the high school?
I think to be a good basketball player, there's 2 things that separate them. I think you must have a good attitude toward being a good basketball player, and you must work hard in the off season in order to be a good player during the season.
Okay, thanks, Matt. So come out next winter and see Matt in his final senior season here at Gahanna Lincoln. This has been Neil Smith for WGLH TV. Now back to our studio.
We do have a lot to boast about in basketball, especially girls basketball. Here's a story on our girls basketball coach.
Some say a team is only as good as its coach. Others say there's no such thing as good coaches, only good teams. Well, whatever the reason, The Lady Lions did it this year. They were OCC champs. They won away and at home. And their coach, Mr. Beverly, walked away with OCC Coach of the Year.
I'm very happy about winning the honor, and I think all the credit goes to my basketball team because those girls worked hard all summer to really improve their skills, and they set a goal to win the OCC, and I think that, you know, the honor of winning the Coach of the Year is just something that goes along with the success that they had this year.
The modest Coach Beverly did not underplay his players. They were great. They worked well together, and with a 13-1 record, they were hard to beat.
When I look back on the season, we didn't do as well in the tournament as I thought we would, but winning the OCC was really important to us. We were 13 wins and 1 loss, and to go through 14 games, that's a pretty demanding schedule. And we were very happy that we were able to do so well and win the conference. And it was the first girls' OCC championship in any sport at Gahanna for 4 years, so we're very proud of that. Also, we're very honored that 2 of our players made first-team All-OCC, Mindy Wolf and Sarah Merklin. And Sarah also was named Player of the Year in the OCC. I think that's a pretty important honor. Sarah was named All-District first team, and Mindy was named second team All-District. And those 2, along with Julie Badgett, will be playing March 31st at Worthington High School in the Central District All-Star game. There's only 20 seniors from Central Ohio, and 3 of them are from Gahanna-Lincoln.
Surely give a wonderful end to our year in basketball.
You're right, and I'm looking forward to the beginning of broadcasting class next year. Trisha did a story on the television auditions. Here's Trisha.
Students here at Lincoln High School had the opportunity to try out for WGLH TV Thursday, February 11th. The students were required to have 3 recommendations from their choice of teachers. In addition, they wrote a factual or fictional 30-second story on sports, academics, or a social activity in the high school. Many of them were very nervous for this occasion.
Valentine's weekend will be a very special weekend for those at Gahanna-Lincoln High School. Students' activities will begin Friday afternoon during a short pep assembly in store for all the students. The crowning of this year's Sweetheart King and Queen.
Watch the camera that has the light on, okay? And then, see.
The lights will change.
Yeah, the lights.
Make sure you're looking at the camera with the right one.
Yeah.
Okay, do you look anywhere, or do you look at the light, or what do you look at?
Do I count from 1 or from 5? From 1. Oh, I did it backwards, sorry. All right.
Well, who made it? You'll have to stay tuned till next year to find out who the new members are on WGLH. This has been Trisha Stanson. Now back to the studio.
Have a great week.
Looks as though we're going to have a lot of wonderful talent coming in. I'm glad I'm staying around next year.
I'm glad I'm going to be here also. But here's a girl whose contract has run out. She's graduating. Here's Kristen with Easter.
Eggs of various design and size are just a few indication that Easter's on its way. Easter falls on the first Sunday in April. This is significant because it is a religious holiday. However, Americans tend to be more interested in the fun aspect of Easter. These baskets, mixed with a little Easter grass, will prepare many children for their Easter egg hunts. The Easter Bunny can be seen at this time too. After After all, it's his job to bring all the good children their candy, toys, and baskets. In the past, furry pet bunnies have been perfect presents, but that trend is changing. The manager of Pet Plus at Hunter's Ridge Mall didn't even buy one bunny this year. He explained that if they don't sell before Easter, no one wants them, and the ones that do sell are returned shortly after Easter. On a brighter note, pastel colors and flower bouquets prove that with Easter comes spring, and that's good news to everyone. I sincerely hope you enjoy April 3rd. I know it's one of my favorite holidays. This has been Kristen Hampton with the Easter Brief for WGLH.
Kristen sure does a lot of nice work for us.
And she certainly has a lot of energy.
And there are many other students with a lot of energy. Only these students go to Lincoln Elementary. 13th, 4th, and 5th grade students have recently completed a course in peer tutoring. The course was run by Julie Comer and Sue Booth. The PTA has provided different materials which would aid the students in teaching the kindergarten and 3rd grade students.
We need all the help we can get, especially from 1st grade through high school.
And you're right. And here at the high school, we get real prime assistance from our media center. Here's Gwen.
What place can you think of that is quiet, filled with books, newspapers, and magazines, with a relaxing atmosphere? That's right, the Gahanna Lincoln High School Library. Throughout the day, as many as 350 to 400 students come to use the library's resources and enjoy the atmosphere. Whether it is to do homework, read magazine and newspapers, or just plain relax, we've all been to the library. Mrs. Clanforth, along with being producer of WGLH TV, is head librarian. Mrs. Sarber, Mrs. Hammond, who is part-time, and Secretary Mrs. Swetland make up the staff. The library offers an abundance of learning materials and services with approximately 16,000 books, subscriptions to 86 magazines, the New York Times newspaper, the Columbus Dispatch, the USA Today, the Trading Times, and the Gahanna News. In the periodical research room, where all back issues of magazines are kept, there are 1,160 volumes of bound magazines. The back issues for the past 20 years of magazines such as Newsweek, Time, Reader's Digest, and Sports Illustrated are available for research purposes. There are also some specialized sections in the library and filing cabinets in front of the library. You can find travel information on each of the states and countries of the world. In one cabinet, there is a special map file with maps of each Ohio county, the states, and other countries. The library has recently added newspaper on microfiche to its research facilities. A microfiche reader printer allows students to access material from past issues of New York Times daily newspaper and the Christian Science Monitor newspaper, which are stored on the microfiche format. Mrs. Sarber, assistant librarian, showed me this new material.
See on the screen the microfiche, which looks like this. And what it does is it just makes it really convenient to store newspaper formats in a very small space. And what it does is it shows you, it blows up the little film so that you can read it. And being a printer, it can also make copies. Find a good page to copy. Okay, and the copies cost 10 cents a piece. And they come out looking like a microfiche. It's a very convenient form to have, in that newspapers get old and yellow and brittle, and they're very difficult to handle after a long period of time, whereas the microfiche, the life of a piece of microfiche is usually between 50 and 100 years, so it's a nice form to have in the library for students to use when they do their reference.
If you don't have time to finish your research in the library, there's a copying machine available to students at the circulation desk. If it's a calculator you need, never fear, the library has calculators to lend. Mrs. Clamford has given the library a colorful, relaxing atmosphere. She did this by adding rocking chairs, bean bags, a braided rug, reading lamps with couches, and lounge chairs. She also added several hanging plants at the windows for a touch of greenery. I asked some students how they liked the changes, and here's what they said.
Come to the library for the peaceful atmosphere, and it's really quiet, and I can get my studying done there.
Because it's a comfortable atmosphere, and I can do my studies, and when I'm done I can read a magazine and sit in a beanbag and be comfortable.
Because study hall is boring. Because I like to read the magazines and newspapers.
For the college-bound students, there's a special section filled with ACT and SAT study guides and books on different colleges available. In the Service Center section of the library, there are typewriters available for student use. The library is also equipped with closed-circuit TV that can send videotaped programs or cable TV to classrooms throughout the high school complex, including Building C. A laminating machine is available for teacher use, along with record players, overheads, etc. If you think only students and teachers use the library, guess again. The facility is being used for special board meetings. This has been Gwen Barker. Now back to the studio.
With all of that study, we are certainly ready for spring break. I wonder where everyone is going.
Well, Valita took the camera out and asked some students where they were going. Let's watch.
I got my official sun blocking hat, and my blocking sun ray glasses. Can you guess what I'm prepared for? Today, spring break. The only problem is I don't know where I'm going to go. I asked a couple of students around the high school, and this is what they had to say.
I'll be going to West Virginia with Gahanna track team over spring break. I'm going to Daytona Beach.
I'm going to Cayman Islands for spring break.
Going to Daytona.
Unfortunately, if you don't have a lot of this, the Cayman Islands and Daytona may be out for you. Why not participate in an inexpensive activity? Window shopping. And if not window shopping, then follow the Gahanna track team, who will be participating in an away meet in West Virginia. And the ever so obtainable option of sleep is always available. And don't forget, the television has its categories for entertainment. But remember, springtime is a time to enjoy the outdoors and rejoice from the victories over the cold and bitter winds of old man winter. This has been Valita Johnson, reporting for WGLH TV.
What are you doing for spring break, Tim?
Well, I'm glad you asked, Shelley. I'm going to be spending the week out of town with a friend.
And what about you, Sean?
Well, I'm going to Florida to visit some relatives. What about you, Shelley?
Well, I'm going college hunting in Virginia. And spring is surely coming because we have a lot of spring sports. Right, Tim?
First off, in boys varsity basketball, the guys were defeated 49-41 by Brookhaven at the AAA state tournament. However, the girls obliterated Walnut Ridge by a score of 71-31. And again, the varsity girls basketball team were handed a loss, 58-53 by Westerville North. And in baseball at Gahanna, I had a chance to get some footage of spring training. Let's watch. Baseball, America's favorite sport. Baseball at Gahanna is also a favorite. But there's one slight problem: snow. Mother Nature has cast her wrath in the area, causing the infamous spring training to be held indoors. I spoke with baseball coach Hanners about the indoor spring training, among other things.
How do you think that the weather outside is affecting spring training for your baseball team?
Well, it affects our team a lot, but same goes with every other team in the district. It's hard to get real game situations, and you can only do so much in a gym situation. And also mentally it affects the kids.
You do practice in the gym?
Yes, every night.
How do you think that the baseball team looks this season?
Right now I'm very optimistic. I think we can have probably the best infield we've ever had here. The outfield is inexperienced, but we do have, I feel, some good athletes out there.
After speaking with Coach Hanners about the baseball season, I spoke to Brad Webb and Bill Drisback, baseball players on the Lions baseball team, and found out what they had to say about spring training.
Bill, what's it like training inside for spring training instead of outside? Does that hurt the players?
Well, I think that to a point it does hurt the player because when you're outside, of course you're going to be playing on the field that you're playing on all summer, but inside you're working on the fundamentals, and that's what you really need to get down is the fundamentals. So
Right.
going into a season, I don't feel bad practicing inside, especially when you can't go outside.
Brad, what's it like this year in terms of baseball playing and baseball players? We looking towards a good season here? Or?
Yeah, we ought to. We got a lot of seniors coming back. We'll have a real strong infield. Everybody's came back from last year's played the infield. Pitching staff ought to be all right. We got a lot of guys coming back. They did most of our pitching last year. And the outfield, you know, they're coming along, so we ought to do pretty good. We ought to be a pretty good contender this year.
So it sounds like we have a lot of experience in the...
Yes, we do, yeah. Last year, senior class, we didn't have very many seniors on the team.
Right.
And, you know, so we had a lot of juniors, and this year, a lot of the juniors that were on the team last year played a lot, so we ought to do pretty good.
It looks like the baseball team here this year at Gahanna Lincoln High School is going to have a very successful season. With the new coaching staff, the experienced seniors, Bill Drisback and Brad Webb as captains on the new team, and not to mention all the hard work, determination, and fundamentals, it looks like the baseball team is going to have a very successful season, and we wish them all the best of luck. For WGLH TV, this has been Tim Lakin reporting. Now back to the studio. In wrestling, Tracy Doss reigned victorious at the sectionals and district competition and was able to qualify for state competition. Congratulations, Tracy. In swimming, at the district meet, the boys placed 9th while the girls finished 4th, and the girls swimming relay team qualified for state competition. Congratulations, girls. And finally, the girls indoor track team won the district indoor relays. And that about wraps it up for sports.
That's quite a wrap-up.
And that about wraps it up for the show. This has been Sean Holler.
And Shelley Tillery.
And Tim Lakin saying, be sure to tune in next week when director Tracy Starr has a highlight show on Goshen Lane Elementary. Until then, have a happy Easter.